Hey, this is take two for the live video. Today we are on day 3 of gratitude practice. So I am drinking from my unicorn mug. Imagine, dream, and believe always. So yeah, it's a late night over here. We've been kind of staying busy. I hope you're having a great November 3rd. So I'm going to quickly try to cover, today's topic is just to release your fears. Because fear and gratitude cannot coexist together at the same time. And I think a lot of times we are not aware of just how much, because fear is something that really takes place behind the curtains. It's in the mind, it's in the heart, and it's not always something that you just see right out displayed. But it takes place behind inside of us, and it really can rob us of a lot of things, like for instance gratitude. And gratitude really brings in the ability to love genuinely and experience and receive and accept the abundance of life that you are given. So today we're gonna do how to release your fears and kind of take that out of the way, because if you remember on day 1 I talked about how in order to be grateful, you had to have your arms free to receive. And sometimes we're just holding on to too much stuff that we really are just not able to be maybe present and receive every moment as the gift that it is. So this is part of the gratitude practice where we're actually going to be taking things out of your life that shouldn't be there, because they're withholding your ability to experience gratitude to the fullest and the richness of life. So with releasing your fears, today I felt like it was such a big topic and such a needed one for being able to experience your most full and abundant life and gratitude life, that I'm actually going to cover an exercise that you can do, but also a roller blend of essential oils that you can make for this, because like I said, it's a pretty big deal. If you're not able to release the fears, then you're going to have less room or no room to really be present in each moment and take in the full goodness you're given. And let me just say this, okay, so fear, and most people don't recognize this about fear, but most of the time fear locks us into a place of the past or paints a really negative portrait of the future. Gratitude is the opposite. Gratitude can only be experienced in the moment. So gratitude, even if it's something that you're grateful for that happened in the past, you're grateful in that moment, not in the past. Does that make sense? So gratitude is really the key to being actually present in your life, moment by moment. Fear, again, will take you and lock you outside of what you're actually walking in that moment, and then you miss it, okay? So we don't want to be locked in the past. We don't want to be painting bad pictures for our future or the negative side of things, because really honestly they haven't happened yet, at least. And when we tell ourselves that, we're more likely to experience the negative story that we've told ourselves. So we don't want to do that either. I've got my notes here to try to stay on track. My stuff is not like working out how I thought it would, but that's okay. So we're going to live in the present. We're going to be grateful, have gratitude, and experience life fully and abundantly. So the exercise that you can do is, on a piece of paper, just write down everything that causes you to feel anxious, worried, concerned, fearful, or even agitated. Write that down on a piece of paper sometime tonight, tomorrow, and as you write it down, for everything that you write down, you want to just ask yourself, okay, why does that make me feel agitated or fearful? And you can write down the answer to that. But as you dissect this, why does that make me feel this way? And then what is the story behind that I'm really telling myself? And has it taken place? Is it something that you need to deal with that was in your past? Has it taken place? Or is it a story that you're telling yourself that it's going to be for the future? And it hasn't. And then for those of you who feel like, well, I'm in a bad story, it's not great. The story hasn't ended, and the story can end well. And being grateful for the moments we touched on yesterday, being grateful for the opportunities in every moment and in every story, there is always an opportunity, and that opportunity can also be that the tables will be turned, that the story will improve, that the story will have a lesson, that the story has a purpose. And so even if you feel like, man, I'm in a bad chapter of the story, the opportunity is still there. So don't give up. Don't get caught in that fear cycle or the negative, but instead grab hold of the opportunity to live, to learn, and to see better days. So anyway, do that, write that down, and that will deal with, you'll probably be able to recognize a lot of stuff doesn't even exist right now. There are a lot of what if stories. What if this? What if? The second thing is, it's impossible to take your fears and just pull them out and unplug them. You're going to have to place something in there. You can't just weed them up. And the gratitude, if you're doing this practice with me, is the perfect thing to actually plug into those places where you felt fear or anxiety or agitated or whatever it was. You can plug in gratitude. And let me just walk you through kind of how to practice this. Of course, we're going to do this for the rest of the 30 days, so please stick with us because I can't go through all of this in one day. It's just not going to work. But if you have your oils, I'm going to go through an oil blend to make, because you're going to just love this. It's going to help you to release on a very deep emotional level fears that you've held. If you have stuff that you feel like, I have not been able to release that fear or that thought, start maybe coupling it with oils, because oils have a way of being able to really get down to some of our chemistry and makeup, and just our thought patterns that we have, and break those and help us to establish new, better thought patterns. So I'm going to read from my book today, because I did not prepare very well, and it's just easier to do this. But the oil blend that I'm giving you, I'm going to post the recipe in the comments after this video. But these are the oils. Usually I just pick one blend to tell you this will help aid you in this practice exercise, but today it's like you need this every day for the rest of the 30 days, because I don't care who you are, fear is a reality for most all of us. Hey James, so good to see you on this. So cardamom. Cardamom is the essential oil that gives you a bird's eye view of your current circumstances. When looking at your fears from a distance and seeing the bigger picture, the thing that scared you doesn't look frightful anymore. Cardamom provides solutions to the problem at hand as you see your situation from a different perspective. If you ever want to be able to step outside and just kind of look on it from a third-person perspective, step outside of yourself, use that oil, cardamom, and that's going to be in the blend that I'm going to give you at the end of this. Juniper berry, that was the blend for yesterday. If you did not get yesterday's video, go back and watch that. This helps to release fears in general. It brings the fear out of its hiding places and helps you to see it for what it truly is. When looking at the fear straight in its face, you realize how small and insignificant it is. Many times we make a mountain out of a molehill, and that has been so true in my life. And remember, yesterday was about taking you from the place of being in denial or denying to insightful, and this is where juniper berry really does help. You may be in denial of some of the things that keep you anxious or fearful, but let's just pull those out, let's address them, let's take care of it, because they are robbing you of your best life. The next essential oil in this blend is lemon. It powerfully cleanses out the fears and purifies that low vibration energy. I love lemon in my water every day, y'all. It is so awesome. Okay, and then the next one is basil. Basil replenishes the soul and brings your vitality back. Being afraid is exhausting and drains vital energy. That is so true. If you can think back to a time that you were overly anxious or fearful, I'm pretty sure you're going to find that you were limited on your energy. Okay, black pepper is the next one. This one is the best oil to break addictions. Being in constant state of fear, also a type of emotional addiction. And that is true. If you struggle, if you find yourself that you continually return to a bad habit, like an addiction, use black pepper. Black pepper is phenomenal to that. Lime connects you to the deepest part of your soul, where your heart beams with courage and resolve. Lime brings out the inner warrior and makes you triumphant. Cinnamon guides you to stand in your power. It is empowering and uplifting. Cedarwood strengthens the lungs and improves breathing patterns. Living in fear causes shallow breathing. This leads to less oxygen to the brain, which leads to more anxious feelings. Cedarwood breaks this vicious cycle to improve better breathing and increases feelings of calmness. I love cedarwood. My husband does too, because it's so calming. But we used Breathe on the very first day. Use your Breathe oil, but you may want to, if you are highly maybe anxious or you battle fears, you may want to definitely double up with the cedarwood first thing in the morning. Hawaiian sandalwood quiets the mind so you can connect to your intuition. This oil brings you into the heart space and allows you to listen to the deepest parts of yourself. So just make yourself a roller bottle blend. That's what I did. And I'm going to totally be using this for the next 30 days because I don't want any fears to be blocking me from living in my present life. Because like I said at the beginning of this video, fear really takes you and locks you either in the past or paints a bad portrait for the future, and gratitude is something you can only experience in the present moment. So it kind of takes you out from your life. So you're going to put this all in a roller blend. I'm going to put the recipe below, and you're simply going to roll this on the back of your neck, your inner wrist, sorry you can't see with the book, inner wrist, and then the bottom of your back, so kind of along your spine and lower back. That's where you're going to apply this every day for the next 30 days. And then work through some of the workbook or writing your list of fears or anxieties, and just working through, like, why are you really anxious about that? What's going on? What's the story that you're telling yourself? And most of the time it's what if, and what if does not exist. So thank you for watching tonight, and I hope you'll be there for day 4 tomorrow.